Man is in misery, and man has remained in misery down the centuries. Rarely can you find a human being who is not miserable. It is so rare that it almost seems unbelievable. That's why people don't believe that human beings like Buddha ever existed. People can't believe it. They can't believe it because of their own misery. The misery is such, and they're entangled in it so deeply, that they don't see that any escape could be possible. People think the Buddhas must have been imagined, that people like Gautam Buddha are dreams of humanity. That's what Sigmund Freud says, that people like Buddha are wish fulfillment. We want to be that way, we want to be out of misery, we would like to have that silence, that peace, that benediction, but it has not happened. And Freud says there is no hope. It cannot happen. By the very nature of things, man cannot become happy. Freud has to be listened to very keenly and very deeply. He cannot be simply rejected outright. His is one of the most penetrating minds ever. And when he says happiness is not possible, when he says that hoping for happiness is hoping for the impossible, he means it. This conclusion is not that of a philosopher. His own observation of human misery led him to this conclusion. Freud is not a pessimist, but after observing thousands of human beings, getting deeper into their psyches, he realized that man is made in such a way that he has a built-in process for being miserable. At the most, he can be in comfort, but never in ecstasy. At the most, we can make life a little more convenient through scientific technology, through social change, through a better economy, and other things, but man will remain miserable all the same. How can Freud believe that a person like Buddha ever existed? Such serenity seems to be just a dream. Humanity has been dreaming about Buddha. This idea arises because Buddha is so rare, so exceptional. He is not the rule. Why has man remained in so much misery? And the miracle is that everybody wants to be happy. You cannot find a single person who wants to be miserable. Yet everybody is in misery. Everybody wants to be happy, blissful, peaceful, silent. Everybody wants to be in joy. Everybody wants to celebrate, but it seems impossible. Now there must be some very deep cause, so deep that Freudian analysis could not reach it, so deep that logic cannot penetrate it. One basic thing has to be understood. Man wants happiness. That's why he is miserable. The more you want to be happy, the more miserable you will be. Now this seems very absurd, but this is the root cause. And when you understand the process of how the human mind functions, you will be able to realize it. Man wants to be happy, hence he creates misery. If you want to get out of misery, you will have to get out of your desire for happiness. Then nobody can make you miserable. Here is what Freud missed. He could not understand that the very desire for happiness can be the cause of misery. How does it happen? Why in the first place do you desire happiness? And what does the desire of happiness do to you? The moment you desire happiness, you have moved away from the present. You have moved away from the existential. You have already moved into the future, which is nowhere, which has not come yet. You have moved into a dream. Now, dreams can never be fulfilling. Your desire for happiness is a dream. The dream is unreal. Through the unreal, nobody has ever been able to reach the real. You have taken a wrong train. The desire for happiness simply shows that you are not happy right at this moment. The desire for happiness simply shows that you are a miserable being. And a miserable being projects into the future that sometime, someday, some way, he will be happy. Your projection comes out of misery. It carries the very seeds of misery. It comes out of you. It cannot be different from you. It is your child. Its face will be like you. Your blood will be circulating in its body. It will be your continuity. You are unhappy today. You project that tomorrow will be happy, but tomorrow is a projection of you, of whatever you are today. You are unhappy, the tomorrow will come out of this unhappiness, and you will be more unhappy. Of course, out of more unhappiness, you will again desire happiness in the future. Then you are caught in a vicious circle. The more unhappy you become, the more you desire happiness. The more you desire happiness, the more unhappy you become. Now it is like a dog chasing its own tail. In Zen, they have a certain phrase for it. They say it's like whipping the cart. If your horses are not moving and go on whipping the cart, it is not going to help. You are miserable, then anything you can dream, anything you can project is going to bring more misery. So the first thing is not to dream, not to project. The first thing is to be here now. Whatsoever it is, just be here now. And a tremendous revelation is waiting for you. The revelation is that nobody can be unhappy in the here and now. Have you ever been unhappy here and now? Right this moment, is there any possibility of being unhappy right now? You can think about yesterday and you can become unhappy. You can think about tomorrow and you can become unhappy. But right this very moment, this throbbing, beating, real moment, can you be unhappy right now? Without any past, without any future. You can bring misery from the past, from your memory. Somebody insulted you yesterday and you can still carry the wound. You can still carry the hurt. And you can still feel unhappy about it. Why? Why did it happen to you? Why did the man insult you? You have been doing so much good for him, and you have always been helpful. Always a friend. And he insulted you. You are playing with something that exists no longer. Yesterday is gone, or you can be unhappy for tomorrow. Tomorrow your money will be finished. Then where are you going to stay? What are you going to eat? Tomorrow your money will be finished. Then unhappiness arrives. Either it comes from yesterday, or it comes from tomorrow. But it is never here and now. Right this moment, in the now, unhappiness is impossible. If you have learned this much, you can become a Buddha. Then nobody is hindering your path. Then you can forget all the Freuds. Then happiness is not only possible, it has already happened. It is just in front of you and you are missing it because you go on looking sideways. Happiness is where you are, wherever you are. Happiness is there. It surrounds you. It is a natural phenomenon. It is just like air, just like sky. Happiness is not to be sought, it is the very stuff the universe is made of. Joy is the very stuff the universe is made of. But you have to look straight on, you have to look in the immediate. If you look sideways, then you miss it. You miss because of yourself. You miss because you have a wrong approach. But go on dying to the past and never think of the future, and then try to be miserable. You will fail. You cannot be miserable. Your failure is absolutely certain. It can be predicted. You cannot manage however efficient you are at being miserable, however well trained. You cannot create misery this very moment. Desiring happiness helps you to look somewhere else, and then you go on missing. Happiness is not to be created. Happiness is just to be seen. It is already present. This very moment, you can become happy, tremendously happy. This is how it happened to Buddha. He was the son of a king. He had everything but was not happy. He became more and more unhappy. The more you have, the more unhappy you become. That is the misery of a rich man. That's what is happening in America today. The richer they get, the more unhappy they become. The richer they get, the more they are completely at a loss what to do. Poor people are always certain about what to do. They have to earn money. They have to build a good house. They have to buy a car. They have to send their children to the university. They always have a program waiting for them. They are occupied. They have a future. They have hope. Someday or other they remain in misery, but there is hope. The rich man is in misery, and the hope has also disappeared. His misery is double. You cannot find a poorer man than a rich man. He is doubly poor. He remains projected into the future, and now he knows the future is not going to supply anything, because whatever he needs, he already has it. He becomes troubled. His mind becomes more and more anxious, apprehensive. He becomes anguished. That's what happened to Buddha. He was rich. He had everything that it was possible to have. He became very unhappy. One day he escaped from his palace, left all the riches, his beautiful wife, his newly born child. He escaped. He became a beggar. He started seeking happiness. He went to this guru, to that guru. He asked everybody what to do to be happy. And of course there were 1,001 people ready to advise him, and he followed everybody's advice. And the more he followed their advice, the more confused he became. Buddha tried whatever was said to him. Somebody said, do hatha yoga. He became a hatha yogi. He did yoga postures and he did them to the very extreme. Nothing came out of it. Maybe you can have a better body with hatha yoga, but you cannot become happy. Just a better body, a healthier body, makes no difference. With more energy, you will have more energy at your disposal to become unhappy. But you will become unhappy. What will you do with it? If you have more money, what are you going to do with it? You will do that which you can do, and if a little money makes you so miserable, more money will make you more miserable. It is simple arithmetic. Buddha dropped all yoga. He went to other teachers, the Raja Yogis, who teach no body postures but only mantras, chanting meditations. He did that too, but nothing came out of it. He was really in search. When you are really in search, then nothing can help. Then there is no remedy. Mediocre people stop somewhere along the way. They are not real seekers. A real seeker is one who goes to the very end of the search and comes to realize that all search is nonsense. Searching itself is a way of desire. Buddha recognized that one day he had left his palace, he had left his worldly possessions. One day, after 6 years of spiritual search, he dropped all search. The material search was dropped before. Now he dropped the spiritual search. This world was dropped before. Now he dropped the other world too. He was completely rid of desire, and that very moment it happened. That very moment there was benediction. All desire dropped, all hope dropped, all hope abandoned. Suddenly Gautam Siddhartha became Buddha. It was always there, but he was looking somewhere else. It was there, inside, outside. It is how the universe is made. It is blissful, it is truth, it is divine. Joy is to enter into your own self. In the beginning it is difficult, arduous. In the beginning you will have to face misery. The path is very mountainous. But the more you enter into it, the greater is the reward.